So I have a confession that I have not watched a scary movie this past Halloween season.
Me too. We haven't either.
No, it was just one of those years that I wasn't motivated to sit down and watch a Halloween thriller, classic, or anything in between. Not even like a fun one. I started to watch Casper.
That's a fun one.
Just as a fun one, but I didn't get very far. And then I ended up eventually watching The Devil Wears Prada. So it had the devil in the title, but you know,
enough. I mean, I find Meryl Streep terrifying, so that works.
Really? Okay. Well, yeah. For those of you that got a chance to watch a scary movie, I applaud you. It's one of my things I always like to do during the Halloween season. But now as we move into the holidays, maybe I just missed that. But welcome to Neighbors Don't Knock. We are going to be talking about little boy math versus girl math today.
Ooh.
And the effects it might have on society. So come with us on this journey.
Welcome to Neighbors Don't Knock, the show that brings you hilarious, unapologetic conversations only these neighbors can have. Join them and guests in their weekly mission to expand the neighborhood. Now, here's your hosts, Brian Chambers and Philip Goffrey.
I can't dance.
You just like to say that, I think.
I can't. I'm straight out of like The Jerk, you know. I got rhythm. Ma.
I can dance.
I bet you can dance. I bet you can like.
But I don't get a lot of credit for dancing. I'm not going to claim to be a dancer, but I can dance a little bit.
Fair enough.
Just a little bit.
Do you know all the classics because of your theater experience, like the Jitterbug and the like all the old school 50s,
the Charleston and all that? Yeah. I mean, I do. But
how about the Carlton?
I do know the Carlton very well. For those of you that know that reference, man, let us know in the comments.
Absolutely. And post up if you want to see Brian Chambers do the Carlton. I want to hear comments.
I don't think we're going to get anybody that wants to see that. I really don't. Well, I don't think we're going to have anyone that wants to watch me do the Carlton, even though
one never knows.
I like to boast my Carlton is pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's pretty good.
Now I want to see it.
So welcome to Neighbors Don't Knock, all you neighbors out there, near and far and wide, wherever you're watching or listening. You have tuned into the show where we get together, talk about news, trends, things that are going on in the hopes to expand our neighborhood to get your day a little bit better. We bring in guests from neighbors and friends and businesses. But anyway, take a moment, hit that subscribe button. It'll really help us out if you're watching on YouTube. Follow, like, and subscribe to our social media or wherever you get your podcast.
Absolutely. It really does make a big difference. So please do comment up. If you want to hear from us, we'd love to hear from you too. Put some comments below. We love them.
Yeah, your support helps us bring more content and more great things for you. And we have a lot of good, great, fantastic guests that are this season happening that I can't even speak. I'm really excited. I was jumping my words. But today we're going to talk a little bit. I came across this boy math versus girl math type of thing. It's become a trend. It's become a trend, and in a sense, a humorous trend, which I quite enjoy.
Well, you know me, I live under a rock, so explain me how this works.
So it's become a viral videos that have started to go across TikTok. But it appears, according to a HuffPost.com, it appears that it originated from clips by a New Zealand radio show called Fletch, Vaughn, and Haley.
Oh, cool.
On the topic, this topic, girl math, they have their own segment. And basically, caller will share a purchase or a big purchase, like spending $900 on a luxury tote, or $5,600 on 4 nights Taylor Swift tickets, and $700 on Dyson hair dryer, and justify their spending, basically saying that it's expected to be used this many times, so the total, it's basically free. And then they say girl math. And this trend, that's where it's believed to be appeared. It's interesting because the more I looked into it, the more a lot of other people are claiming that they were the ones that discovered this.
That kind of always happens now with social media, right? When something goes viral, it's always, no, I did that first.
I was like, I was the one that, did this, because there's another girl who, Samantha Jane, a 28-year-old real estate developer, content creator recently. She went viral for sharing the concept of girl math. So, it's really fun. So basically, if you don't know what girl math is, it is a way of justifying prices in a very humorous way. I mean, that's essentially all it is. It's a set of rules that women supposedly keep to justifying impulse spending.
Like defined rules?
Well, kind of unwritten rules, but you know what I mean? Like,
fair enough.
Like bros before hoes type of thing.
Whoa.
See.
Hey now.
Can
we do that in 2023?
I don't know. I don't know. It was a trend for a while. It was a trend. I mean, I guess, well, once you're married, you don't really.
It's bros before young working professionals that deserve your respect.
Oh, please. Oh,
do it again, whore.
Yeah, exactly, right? Okay, so an example, like an item under $5 is considered free.
Why?
Why? As is anything bought with cash. Concert tickets bought in advance are also free, at least by the time said concert rolls around. So it's just this weird justification of math. Now, it did start out a little bit of like boy math. Now it's like boy math versus girl math, and to me it's very funny, and I think it was a lot more of women that were going across kind of poking fun at guys, how we justify certain prices or justifying purchases for our own our own gain or whatever, which we can relate to that, right? I mean,
I have like a scripted rationale at the ready for everything I buy. It's like, no, honey, I really, really needed that because, right?
Exactly. So we all have it, and I think it's kind of fun. It's now the danger of this, and this is my question for you. This is a trend that's gone viral, all in good fun, but we're gonna look at some videos and some other things that is it really being taken more serious than it should?
Oh, so you think the joke has become
I think that
a potential
epidemic? Well, trends can be dangerous sometimes.
Yes, they can.
Because sometimes
Tide Pod chewing nutbags that you all are.
Exactly.
My goodness.
You can have something that starts off as kind of just this fun, humorous, social content thing that we all need to laugh about every now and then, right?
Eating toxic soaps. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just... I don't know. This one, when it comes to finances, especially this day and age, it feels a little bit more of a slippery slope to me, where you have this viral trend going on and people taking a liking to it, and
where anything you pay for in cash is free.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm just like, when you say things sometimes over and over enough times, or you say it enough, you start to believe the delusional perception that really is free.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still young and beautiful, so I get it.
I mean, so there's, I don't know, your thoughts. Is this a dangerous, slippery slope, or is this, you feel this trend is just going to be pure fun?
Well, I tell you what, I'd like to hear some examples before I can actually give my opinion on that, because I'm a little bit new to this concept of girl math and boy math.
So a tweet that was online by Bernard, professional dog, at Bowtie Bernard.
Hello, Bernard.
Says,
yes.
Girl math. Under $5? It's free. Return at $50 item, made $50. Return $50 and spend $100 afterwards, spent $50. We'll never spend $500 on Amazon, but we'll spend $100 5 times.
Okay, now I'm getting this.
And yeah, exactly. Like that's the kind of justification. And just to say that boy math, I guess the quote on boy math, there's some tweets about boy math. Boy math is making fun of astrology by majoring in finance. That's considered boy math. Boy math is being afraid of gold diggers when you only have 3 pairs of socks to your name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was my whole 20s.
Yeah. Boy math is wanting a traditional woman who pays bills.
That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
That's a good one.
Like I think it's great. It's a little bit of jousting between males and females.
Yeah.
I think it's all in good fun because we give each other a hard time a lot. Yeah. I mean, I rib with my wife a lot about things.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, my thoughts on this. One, I'm pretty happy to see the young people jousting and joking about gender dynamics and gender roles. That's kind of fun. Like I was kind of worried that in today's world, they would lose their sense of humor, the younger people, with being able to do that, right? So I kind of like the fact that they're ribbing each other on this. That's pretty cool. I do think that, though, it is a little bit dangerous, right? Because there's always some truth to the joke, right? It always comes from some foundation.
There is a nugget of truth, and like I said, delusional versus reality.
Why would they change math? Math is math.
Okay,
Math
Dad.
is math.
I mean, the reality of it, right?
Finances are finances. You can't change finances.
Exactly. And that's the other thing. Is the justification happening before the purchase or after the purchase? Because that's where I think that the danger lies there. If you're making a justification before a purchase is made, okay, you're really wanting it, needing it, or you were gonna buy that anyway. It's just kind of making yourself feel a little bit better about spending the money. If you are justifying something after making that purchase, I feel there's the danger of not thinking financially about that,
Right.
and just making the impulse buy, which then starts to add up. And where I feel where it could be dangerous for more people to believe I spent, all this money, and then start justifying all the purchases afterwards. And then what does that say? No, you're going to drive yourself into an insane amount of debt. And it's very interesting that this is becoming a viral thing, because viral things people tend to follow a lot more.
Well, okay, let's be a little preachy here, though, or at least I'll be a little bit preachy here. I suppose
I know you're more of the finance guy than I am.
I suppose that if these young people are actually saving some kind of a set percentage of their income, then whatever they have put aside for their expendable income, they can rationalize any way they want, right?
That's true. Yeah. That is true.
If you save your $3, go spend your $5. Enjoy it.
That is true. Okay, but do you think that everyone is? Do you think most people are doing, what is it, the 50, 30, 20 rule?
Absolutely not. No, I think that, unfortunately, there's statistics out there that anybody can go look up and find. I won't bore people with it. But the reality is that since the pandemic, the average Westerner's available savings has plummeted and debt is rising fast. So
absolutely,
we're in a tough economy right now.
And for those of you that don't know what the 50, 30, 20 rule is, it's where 50% of your income goes to take care of essential things. The 30% after that is your extra whatever you want to spend on yourself, and then the 20% going to savings or other Roth IRA, whatever your wherever your investments and savings and places are. And that's typically what the 50, 30, 20 rule is.
Though this may be a bit of do as I say is not and not as I do, I do think that the 30 and the 20 should be flipped in that model.
And maybe it is. Maybe I misquoted. I'll double check that. But
first I've heard of it, so I don't know.
But yeah. But I mean, it essentially is 50% takes care of your primary stuff, and then you divide up. Some of it goes to savings. It used to be 10 or 20%. I know it's changed over. It changes all the time, just because inflation, things like that.
Yeah.
But,
well, though that cash might be free, that dollar doesn't go quite as far. So free, you can't stretch free as far as you used to be able to, evidently.
Exactly. Okay, so what would you think of? So you're for this. You like the ribbing. You're okay with it, like just going on as viral and people just.
I think it's hilarious as long as people actually take it as a joke. I think that if you're listening to the joke and you find yourself using the same rationales in your actual daily life, then maybe it's time to grab a financial advisor and see if they can help you out a little bit.
I don't know if there's there'd be a good show for that, kind of like Hoarders.
Yeah, there's an FA for you.
Yeah. And you know what? We had a financial advisor on the show, so go back and check out that episode. You may even want to look him up a little bit. He does work. He's not in Texas and Houston, but he will work with other people from around the country.
Indeed.
Some examples of girl math. Do you have one that you can think of?
No, not really off the top of my head.
I mean, for you personally, like, is there a justification that you may have used girl math? Or I guess it's boy math. I guess because we're guys, it's boy math. But but it's kind of taken over now. I mean,
Brian, being one of the hosts and producers of this show with you, I've used boy math quite a few times for our friendly Neighbors Don't Knock. Right. In fact, the other day I purchased a mouse because it's better for video editing, and that one didn't come from CNG. That one came from me. So.
Okay, but
there's a little bit of boy math for you.
All right.
I'll use it for work.
Yeah, I'll use it for work. That's right. Okay, so, but at that point, you weren't delusional about the spending of it, though.
No, I was very acutely aware of the spending of it.
Okay, and to me, that seems to be the difference between the two. And I get people spend differently, and guys will spend differently than girls. We all justify things in different ways. I totally get that. Ladies,
no stereotyping here.
You got a point. You ladies got a point out there. But
I can't step foot in Costco. Exactly. Bad things happen if I go to Costco. It's like, oh yeah, I've always needed 10,000 zip ties.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna use them throughout the year.
A bucket of bungee cords.
Yeah.
Of course I need a bucket of bungee cords.
Exactly. But the difference being that we're not gonna say, oh, because I'm gonna use these over the next 5 years, it really only cost me $5, because I'm gonna use it over 5 years.
No, I don't get a yearly discount based on actual usage model. No, but I will rationalize it with boy math that it's worth the purchase because I'll use it over the next 5 years. Like I would go into a Costco and find a reason to use 500 bungee cords. I would bring them home and everything would be like, it would be like Spider-Man came to my garage and just like everything would bungee to the walls and the ceiling.
Just to do it. I think
100%.
I think that's kind of funny. Some examples, because I had to kind of look this up because when I was seeing these trends on TikTok and then all on YouTube, is like, girl math, boy math, and I jumped right to that quote. Why have they changed math again? Why is math changing again? And examples that I had to look up. Some again posted on Twitter. If I pay with cash, it didn't cost anything because it didn't come out of my account. So
it never went into the account. Therefore.
So
that's an interesting one, right? Because that's very telling how young people kind of look at cash, even in a joking manner.
Yeah, like let's say you do a job, and someone pays you cash right in hand, and then you
please.
And then you go and you spend it. It's like, well, just because you didn't have it for very long doesn't mean that you never had it.
Yeah, and by the way, the IRS would like to speak with you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can see the justification in someone's mind saying, well, this barely touched my hand. And then it might as well have been them buying me dinner instead of me spending it.
Yeah, everybody in the gig economy right now is like, yep.
Yeah,
that shit's free.
Yeah. So which you're right. That one is kind of I don't feel necessarily a black and white one.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That one,
it is very telling though how they look at cash because it never went digitally through something. It never existed.
It never existed. Never digitally existed.
A latte. That's magic.
Okay, so another one. Got free tickets to a game, so bought a bunch of overpriced food because technically it's still less than if I bought the tickets.
Oh, I've so used that one before.
You have?
I have.
So you've used girl math before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I fully admit it. In like a little bit of a different scale though. So for example, once upon a time I scored a free flight somewhere that I needed to go.
Yeah.
So I upgraded to first class. I was like, well, the ticket was free. So the $200 upgrade charge
So you think we've been using, guys and girls have been using this quote unquote girl math long before this became a trend?
I do think so.
You
Maybe
think so?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully not often, but I do think so.
And right now we're just gonna. I want to watch this one just so you can see what's going on out there on TikTok. Let's look at this one TikTok and just so we can kind of see. And I want you to tell me, what do you think? She's serious or not?
Show us.
I know we've been talking a lot about girl dinner, but I really think we should focus our attention on girl math. I got a Starbucks today that was $4.90. Anything under $5 feels like it's pretty much free. Girl math. Returned something at Zara for $50. Bought something else that was $100. It only cost me $50. Girl math. Even like tickets that I buy months in advance. I show up to the concert and I'm like, this was like a free concert, right? Girl math.
Okay, so she looks serious, but do you think that's part of the humor? Is she being serious as part of the humor?
I think it's part of the humor. Just looking at the number of views and likes that she has.
It's got 3.6 million plays.
Yeah, she's gone. That's the definition of viral,
Yeah.
right? So I think she's definitely leveraging the humor. I like that she deadpans it, though. It's pretty good.
I do too. That's I found it hilarious. I think that's why more
Yeah.
people are watching. But again, that brings us back to my original question. How dangerous do we think this trend could be, or is it dangerous at all? Is it pure fun? Because some of us can look at this and say, this is pure fun. And then some of us can look at this as, oh, that's how I need to be living and spending my money.
Okay, so here's where I think the real danger lies. I think that the real danger is that a Gen Zer and their friends get together and they're doing something like going to a concert or going out to a dinner, and they then, spend up and all laugh about it, going, "Oh yeah, girl math," right? And I think that
that's what I'm gonna start saying.
without being serious about the rationale, I think that the joke could become leverage for bad habits.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
If you walk into the Starbucks and you buy that $8 mocha with 2 pumps of pumpkin spice or whatever the heck
because
you're
I had a
doing.
preloaded card that I paid for earlier. It's free.
Right, so it's free.
Yeah.
Girl math. Right. Well, if you're joking about it but still doing it, you're actually doing it, right? You
Yeah.
are the joke. So
I mean, I'm with you. And again, whether it's this boy math versus girl math as the fun, and I enjoy the ribbing because we all, again, like we said earlier, we spend in different ways. I think what we talked about earlier, if people don't see it digitally now, it does almost feel as, and I can kind of see that angle, that it does feel that you never really received it.
yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? Because I remember when people were talking about the quote unquote cashless society just a few years ago, the big fear, the big common thread was that younger people would start being more frivolous with money because it was just digital. And it looks like it's actually gone the opposite direction. It looks like it's more that the cash has become this weird thing that you barely deal with. Therefore, it doesn't have as much value or reality as what's digitally showing up in your Venmo or your PayPal or your bank account, whatever it might be. I think that's really fascinating.
I think it's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. I think this is a lot of fun, but I don't condone it as a principle of how you should look at your finances.
Well, okay, so you asked...
I'm not someone that I'm not a financial advisor, so do what you want, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be basing my stuff off of this.
Well, you asked me, so let me ask you the same question. Have you used boy math or girl math to justify any recent purchases or that you can think of off the top of your head?
Not recent purchases off the top of my head. As I've gotten older, I've gotten a lot better about spending,
A little Scroogier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, they are
I'm not
tough
gonna
lessons.
lie.
Tough lessons learned. People,
Yeah,
let me tell you.
I would say I have learned a few lessons that were, but I have in the past had purchases that I probably would have said, like I have a guitar that I bought that it's going to appreciate over time, so it's not really the cost of that guitar. So I have used.
It was an investment.
Yes, it was an investment. I have used that before. So, and I don't know, does that fall under girl math or boy math? I feel like it's boy math,
I'm
right?
going to go boy math.
I think it's
on
boy
that
math
one.
on that one. So I have used an excuse or something in the past for purchases. That being one that I can think of off the top of my head. And I'm sure I've done it before. But again, I'll look at that justification before. Like I'll kind of use that as kind of the funny part. I don't know. Do you think it's more serious if someone justifies it before the purchase or after?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to go ahead and say they're one and the same, because I think if they're justifying it after, they already sort of did it subconsciously and justified it the exact same way subconsciously before they made the purchase. So I
don't
think
know.
They're kind of threaded.
I think if you do it before, you understand more that you're about to spend the money. I think if you're doing it after, you're just trying to deal with.
I see. So by doing it before, you're basically saying, like, I get that I'm really not making a good decision here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
And
we're gonna
one more round for all my friends.
Bad decisions tonight.
I bought that last round at the bar in cash, so they were free shots. Yeah.
Exactly, right? And because they were free, the tequila tasted so much better, right?
100%.
Because it's free, right? It's always better when it's free. Doesn't matter how bad it is. Anyway, I guess my question is for you guys. What do you think of this trend going on with girl math and boy math? Is it just pure fun, or is this something that we really need to be careful about and look out for?
Yeah, I'm curious too. Post up in the comments below. Go ahead and head over to pod inbox / neighbors don't knock. Leave a comment there. We'd love to know your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure that you guys go check out previous episodes. We've had some great neighbors on and some great guests that are coming back. I say coming back or new to the show this season. So
we do have some good surprises up our sleeves.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's time for us to wrap this one up before we have to go justify any more spending for the show.
I've got some cash in my wallet. Let's do it, baby.
All right.
Free lunch.
That's what I'm talking about. We drop new episodes every Friday, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace
out.
Hey neighbors, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more great content. We drop new episodes every Friday.